It's another time for a birthday celebration. This time it's Manchester Brewery Cloudwater. And we're kicking off with a pale ale from them, coming in at 4.5%. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. It's birthday time again. 9 years old is Cloudwater. So we're going to be reviewing this beer. This is a part of their birthday celebration. They've released 3 beers. We've got a pale ale at 4.5%. We've got an IPA at 6%. And we've finally got a double IPA at 8%, I would presume. Doesn't even say, yeah, 8%. They don't have names, but they're all, the theme of these is they've all got Nelson Sauvin in as a sort of the main hop. And I'm a massive fan of Nelson Sauvin, so I wanted to pick these up. And each of the beers have got something different in them. So the pale ale has got Nelson Sauvin and Mouteka in it. The IPA has got Nelson Sauvin and Mouteka in it. And the double IPA has got Nelson Sauvin, Citra and Idaho 7. I'm glad I got that right because it doesn't actually say on the cans what's what. But today we'll start off with the pale and surprisingly we'll move our way up. It just seems like the logical thing to do. So let's crack this open, get it in a glass, see what it's all about. 9 years old. I mean, it seems like every brewery now is like they're celebrating their birthday with a beer release, and you know it's a bit of a marketing ploy, but it seems to be working. And I like the idea of this Nelson Sauvin being one of my favourite hops, and obviously mixing with others, so they're not all going to taste the same. So otherwise, I would have probably wanted to do them side by side. They're all going to be quite different, I think. But Nelson is obviously a very dominant hop anyway. So, beer in a glass. We've got a bright yellow beer. It's hazy, but it's very pale ale-esque in terms of, you know, there's a little bit more carbonation sort of sticking to the glass. We've got literally, I wouldn't even call that a finger, half a finger of white head. Loose bubbles around the side there, but it's quite yellowy and it's very pale for a pale ale. You know, it's very typical of what a pale ale looks like. So let's see what the aroma's like. Yep, you can definitely smell that it's got New Zealand hops in it. Mouteka's quite strong, actually. This is the one with Mouteka in it. Obviously, that is always about the lime. But there's, you know, there's grape and there's gooseberry in there. And then there's lemons as well. It's very much on that sort of side. It smells very fresh, very zesty, and very drinkable, 4.5%. So let's tuck in. Cheers, everyone. It's a very pleasant pale ale. It's light, a little thin. As I say, it's a very atypical sort of look and taste actually of a pale ale. You've got lots of, you've got a little bit of zippy carbonation in there. The flavours are there, but they're not as, you know, they're not as oomphy. That's not even a word, I've just made that up. They don't pack the punch that you would expect with these sort of hops and when you look at them in an IPA or a double IPA. It's very light. The flavour sort of almost washes itself away. You've got a big hit of lemons and limes and citrus fruits, a little bit of grapefruit. It's refreshing. It cuts through you first. But the flavour, it's just because the body is so thin. The flavour doesn't really sort of develop and it doesn't really last. It sort of very quickly washes itself away. But again, you know, you'd expect that really with a typical pale ale. I don't drink as many pale ales because when I drink beer, I mean, you might think, God, Rocky, you're drinking beer all the time. You're on the internet all the time with these videos. You must be drinking 2 or 3 beers every single day. I don't really drink huge amounts of beer, I don't think, as he says. But like, I'll drink 2 or maybe 3 beers at a weekend, and I might have the odd one during the week. But that's about it. Yes, I am videoing a lot of the beers I'm drinking now. And so obviously if I only have a couple, I want something a bit more substantial than a pale ale. If I was drinking 4 or 5 or 6 a night, then I would probably stick to pale ales. If I go to a pub, I drink a pale ale generally. And this is a very sessionable sort of drink. It's juicy, it's fruity, it's got a nice little zing and fizz to it. It's very easy to drink, but the flavour just doesn't stick around. You're not getting a big oomph of Mouteka. You wouldn't suddenly go, oh yeah, Nelson Sauvin and Mouteka are my favourite hops from drinking this beer, because they wash themselves away really, really quickly. It's a fine start, but it's a 4.5% pale ale. I didn't expect much from the pale ale, but it's a sort of beer that, you know, this cost $4.60, I think it was. I did ask Prost. I got it from Prost. I did ask Ian at Prost what the prices were, and again, I've completely forgot what they were. I think this one was $4.60. The IPA was something like $5.60, and then the double IPA was $7. So, you know, you expect similar for this sort of a pale ale. It's good. Is it the best pale ale I've drank? No, I still think the likes of Polly's make best, really good pale ales. In fact, they're my go-to for pale ales. But this is very sort of fruity and summery and very, very pleasant. So let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Pale. Yeah, it's just called Pale, really. It's a Cloudwater 9th birthday celebration, 4.5%. Nelson Sauvin as a core hop, and also Mouteka added to it. But it's a pale ale. The flavour doesn't really stick around. It's a difficult one to rate, really, because it's going to be lower than probably you would expect, because just the flavour doesn't stick that much. But let's go through the scores, starting with aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. My overall experience. And we took the scores up. Yeah, it's a solid recommended beer in the 70s. It's a White Snake beer. You can slide this one in. You don't even have to do it slow and easy. Total score. It's a good start. I mean, it's not going to blow me away, but, you know, it's better than a lot of supermarket pale ales, that's for sure. And if you want something with those sort of lemons and limes, grapefruit, a little bit of, I mean, yeah, the New Zealand sort of goose, the Nelson Sauvin is really quite lost actually in the mix of this. I'll be interested to see how the Nelson Sauvin is in the IPA, and certainly the double IPA. I think you're going to get quite different drinks. But, you know, if you want something very easy to drink, a midweek beer, which is what I'm having now, then it does the job. So, hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Obviously, if you subscribe, you'll get notified as soon as I drop the videos for the double IPA and the IPA. They'll be coming pretty soon within this week, I hope. And until the next one, you know what we're going to do. Drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.